We've got Jillian Hammer here from Nava. Many caseworkers spend significant time on completing manual and repetitive tasks required for benefit applications, which reduces their availability to interact directly with clients and can even intensify risks of workplace burnout and turnover. This next presentation is about a pilot project in Riverside County that explores how generative AI agents can improve efficiency and effectiveness by automating form-related workflows. Please welcome Jillian Hammer.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jillian Hammer. I'm a senior designer and researcher with Nava, and I'm really excited to be here to share some lessons learned from an ongoing pilot we have with caseworkers in Riverside County. So we kicked off this project. It's still in process now. Over the summer, we did a couple of on-site visits to family resource centers in nearby Riverside County. And these family resource centers are essentially like community centers where anyone from the public, but especially families with children under 5 years old, can come in and talk to someone about any kinds of support that they might need. And they do that through offering really direct support with frontline staff who meet with families and clients in person and have a really open-ended conversation about what their needs are and how they can try and connect them to resources. Oftentimes, the first step of doing that is filling out an application for a benefit program. From what we heard from staff, it takes about half of their time with families to fill out these applications and navigate those different systems. And after they're submitted, of the applications that are later denied, 31% of those are because of essentially errors that were due to data entry, mistakes, or missing information, incomplete applications. So knowing that these were some of the challenges that staff and caseworkers were facing, our team sort of asked ourselves, is this an opportunity for Agentic AI to be a tool for those caseworkers to help alleviate their administrative burden, reduce inaccuracies, and help applications be more full and complete before they're submitted? From what we've seen so far, the short answer is yes, but only if these agentic AI tools are built upon the human expertise and the human relationships that are really at the core of this work. This project is also a partnership between Nava, First 5 Riverside County Children and Families Commission, which is a government agency, and Amplify, which is an LA-based nonprofit. And together we've been able to think really holistically about what are some of the system integration challenges that come with these sorts of workflows and delivering better human services? Right now, we're unified in building towards this shared vision, building an intelligent assistant that can help caseworkers complete applications more quickly. So we just finished piloting with 11 caseworkers in Riverside County who all currently spend about an hour on average completing one benefit application. So before I go any further, I'll show a quick demo video of what we've built so far. So imagine you're a caseworker in Riverside County and you're meeting with a client named Rosa Flores who'd like to apply for WIC. The application starts with a similar chat interface where you put in the prompt with the client's unique identifier and what program they'd like to apply for. And then an agent does a web search, pulls up that browser with the accurate application website, and then actually pre-fills the application based on what data they already have about, for in this example, Rosa Flores in the system. From there, the agent provides a review of all of the information that it autofilled and flags any kind of missing information and what the next steps are. From there, the user can open up this take control mode where they can revise the application as needed, make any edits, make sure everything looks good, and then as a final step, complete the CAPTCHA on their own. So I know that was a lot and a very quick demo, but for the rest of the time, I'll sort of be pulling apart different parts of the features that we built, that we designed, that we developed, and have now tested with some of the feedback that we've heard so far. First and foremost, one of the shared beliefs they have at Riverside County across frontline staff and leadership is this idea that clients should only have to tell their story once. And that mantra is at the crux of what this form-filling assistant does. Because currently, As you may know, when someone wants to apply for a benefit, they usually do that one at a time because it takes so long. They go from agency to agency or come back to multiple times to the Family Resource Center to complete the application. And what that means for the staff is that they then have to ask the same questions over and over again. What's the financial situation right now? What does your household look like? And for us, when we think about wanting to reduce the amount of time that those questions are asked, it's not only for the efficiency of time, but also less re-traumatizing, asking people to continuously explain their situation to new people. So as you saw in the demo, an agent will make an API call to Riverside's existing case management system that they use for intake, and then pull that information and use that to autofill the application. Of course, in reality, data sharing agreements are a huge blocker to production here. But we had really amazing partners at Riverside who were able to rally and get buy-in from their government stakeholders on the IT and legal side by sort of invoking, again, that shared language that they have. If we can pull this tool off, that means that clients only have to tell their story once. And while they were doing that, kind of gathering some excitement and some buy-in, we were able to build prototypes using synthetic data. And that really enabled us to sort of demonstrate, what's possible when these systems can talk to one another. Another guiding principle for us is that we really wanted to design for the in-person conversation and not to replace it. After all, families and clients are coming into family resource centers because they want to talk to a human in person. They don't want to do it over the phone or try and go through an automated system online. They want to sit down with someone who they know will listen and really help them see the application all the way through. Right now, caseworkers do that by going line by line in the application, making sure, is this still your address? Is this still your phone number? And although that process is really tedious right now, it does mean that they sort of organically get to know one another. I've lived at this address for this long, but for 10 years I lived at this address, and that's how they get to know each other and build that rapport and build that trust that's so important. So when we thought about introducing a new piece of technology into this relationship, we were worried that it could be disruptive or distracting or kind of throw off that natural flow of how people build relationships already. So to try and mitigate that risk, we designed the interface to be as heads up as possible, in that we wanted to show everything that the agent was doing. So we displayed the embedded browser through a WebSocket connection, and that way the caseworker and the client could kind of watch the application be filled together or just let it run and continue to have their conversation as it does that. When we tested this, we learned pretty quickly that we may have overcorrected a little bit on the visibility end. All of the caseworkers said, it's nice to know that the agent is doing this work. It's good to know if it runs into an error or something like that, but it's way too overwhelming to try and watch this, try and keep up with it. It's actually distracting me from trying to be present with my client. So as a next step for us, we're going to try and take a closer look at finding the right balance between simplicity, but also visibility, identifying what the key moments are that we need to bring a caseworker in and get their attention and ask them for input, rather than showing everything. But that being said, we also want to make sure that we're encouraging users to intervene rather than defer to the AI system. Because we know that clients are already really reticent to share their personal data with government systems, let alone an AI one. But as one caseworker noted to us, unfortunately, when they're desperate, they're more likely to say yes. So, that responsibility of handling client-sensitive information was really important for us to honor and design for. So, in this first version of our prototype, we provided multiple different avenues for the client and the caseworker to try and stay in control of how their data was being handled by the AI. Through human-in-the-loop UX patterns that are supported by persistent UI like the stop button and this take control button. Surprisingly, though, caseworkers expressed a ton of trust in the system. And that really took us by surprise, despite putting a lot of intention into building this UI that really tried to encourage them to intervene and to edit the AI's actions and things like that. Pretty much all of them are like, I think the AI is going to do a better job than me. I'm a human that's prone to human mistakes. I trust this AI. I think it'll do a better job. And for us, we know that that's not true. We know that mistakes and hallucinations are an inherent part of how LLMs work. So this really underscored even more for us the importance of building in, security and privacy infrastructure and really investing in that, making sure there's accuracy and verification workflows that are built into it. And also making sure that we train the caseworkers on how Gen AI works and how it doesn't work, and provide them with plain language that they can then go and use with their clients as they gather their informed consent to use this tool. So as I wrap up, I hope that some of these things that we've learned you can start to apply in your own projects if you're thinking about exploring agentic AI. The first, I think, is just target the administrative burden. Just identify where there's areas of repetition in your systems, where are people doing the same things over and over again. And I think that's where agents can help reduce some of that duplication. The second is to identify where in your user journey that human interaction needs to happen. Where in the user journey do people need something explained to them or translated, or have the fine print simplified into plain language? Identify those moments and then design around them. And lastly, make sure that people stay in control at every step. Always have those persistent ways that they can intervene or stop and have visibility and oversight over the agent's work. And again, try and encourage them to use it. In closing, though, I want to make note that I think that AI can do a great job at navigating the systems, the portals, the forms, going back between different tabs. But I think we have to remember that the human work, discerning really complex family scenarios or helping someone feel heard and understood, that still really belongs to people. And making sure that we protect and honor the people who are at the heart of receiving and providing human services, that we're protecting them as we build with emerging technology. Thank you.